Good afternoon, everyone. I get to go out and open up another driveway again today. This winter is kind of a weird winter starting off already. I usually don't hardly ever get these phone calls, but I seem to be getting about one a day lately, or one every other day anyhow. This gentleman sent me a text message. He's an on-call customer through the summertime, and I take care of the yard there. It's only needs to be cut about 3 times a year just because there's no sun that gets in the yard. It's mostly all moss and everything, but they have the house up for sale, and they got a call from the real estate office saying that the driveway really should be plowed out. So I'm going to go out and plow this driveway out, and it's 13 degrees with about 20-mile-an-hour winds. So this one's back in the woods a little bit, so hopefully it won't be too windy for me to get out and do some video of it. This driveway is also another gravel driveway. Someone had asked, I think it was this morning, about some of the problems I have with the gravel driveways and problems I have with customers with gravel driveways. The problem I have with the gravel driveways is when you first start plowing them and they are not frozen, because it don't take much to start peeling up a whole bunch of gravel along with the snow. I used to run pads or shoes, however you want to call them, on the bottom of my plow, but that created another problem, because if the driveway was soft when you first started, it would leave grooves in the driveway from the pads, and then it would also sink down into the gravel, and then you'd still be pulling up gravel. So I quit running them just because it created a whole different set of problems, and it was still doing kind of the same thing. So what I learned is just to plow it slow. All I do is drop the blade, and then I pick it up a little bit to get it off a float. So I just want it barely touching the driveway, and I just go really slow until I know where the driveway's at or how level it is, because I can never remember from year to year how the driveway is. But this driveway I'm going to right now, I have never plowed before. I've cut the grass, but I've never plowed it. So I don't remember if there's a ridge along the edge of this driveway or if it's flat. I cannot remember. So it's going to be a really slow plowing on this driveway, just so I don't tear it all up, because on the edge of this driveway is sand, and if I get anywhere near that, I'll start peeling everything up. So I'm just going to take my time and try to do as best a job as I can with this driveway. Hopefully there's been a lot of traffic through there and it's packed down enough where it won't be that big of a deal, but I won't know till I get to the driveway there and see what it looks like. Okay, yeah, she's a bit breezy out here, so I'm going to set you up over here. Hopefully the camera doesn't blow over. Okay, and that takes care of this driveway. It's just a simple driveway. It doesn't take a whole lot to do, and then at the very beginning of the driveway out there, the driveway's got a little hump in it, so when I first started in there, the plow flopped over. But as far as the gravel part goes, this is frozen really well. And you can see a little bit right here where I scraped a little bit. Wasn't too bad. And you know, I still got some pushed up in there, which it's not too bad on this at all for being gravel. It could be worse. Okay, I had to get back in my truck. It's just too cold out there. If you have the shoes or the pads under the plow and you come in here, it will not trip on the gravel and it will not peel gravel up, but it will leave a little bit of snow left there on the driveway, and you won't be able to clean it all the way up. And if you keep doing that, it keeps getting more and more buildup. Well, in my experience, what's happened in the past, or it's happened to me in the past, is after about 3 plows on it, you take the shoes off and don't worry about it anymore. What has happened to me in the past with that is it leaves about an inch or 2 of buildup of packed snow, which is no big deal until it warms up. And it starts like about 35 degrees, it starts getting a little slushy. And then it freezes again and it leaves ruts in the driveway of ice. And the whole driveway becomes ice, and then you're out there salting it. On a gravel driveway and salting it, it's okay, it's no big deal. But if you scrape it down, take your time, and try not to chew anything up, you're going to grab some without the shoes on there. But you don't get that much of a buildup on there, and then you don't have them ruts in there when it thaws and then freezes again. At least that's my personal preference, my personal experience. And maybe somebody's done it differently or likes doing it differently. That's just the way I do it and the way it works for me. In all the videos I'm making, what I am doing is what works for me. There may be better ways that work for someone else, but this is what works for me. You know, I've been doing this a long time, and that's just kind of how I end up doing things. And like I said, it may be different for someone else, may work better for someone else, maybe a better way, I don't know, but that's just the way I do it. I've plowed commercially for about 30 years. In that 30 years of plowing, I've learned what not to do and what does work really well, and I'm still learning on what does work. And sometimes when I'm plowing, and I've been plowing a certain driveway for a long time, and then something just kind of clicks, and I guess in my thought process, and I do things a little differently, and it changes how fast I get done. And it's like, why was I plowing it the other way, and I could have been plowing it this way? But one thing I have learned about plowing snow in these little towns is there's always somebody talking to somebody about the work that you do. So always try to do the best you can with the plowing. Some of it doesn't turn out very well, some of it turns out really good. And most generally, it's when you're plowing a driveway, there's only one way to plow it, and it always looks pretty much the same, and you're just trying to make it look as good as possible on these, and it doesn't look like you halfway done it. It looks like you've done a complete job on it. You know, and someone calls, like this person says, well, just drop the blade or make it passable. Well, making it passable and making it look good are 2 different things. Because I could have come in here and dropped the blade once and then left. Well, I don't do work like that. I clean out the whole driveway. And it just does not look right. And then people driving by see the name on the side of my door, and then that gives me a bad name. So whatever I do, I try to do it the best I possibly can. This driveway is done, and it is New Year's Day, and a customer calls, and I go out and take care of the customer. That is going to be the end of the video for today. So everybody have a good evening, and we will see you at the next yard.